Hey everyone, I hope your summers are going well. I took a little video break, but I am back. So let's get into it. This Stratucation Saturday video is gap fills as targets. So let's get started. We're just going to jump right in. Okay, so what is a gap? This is the daily chart of Apple, by the way. So I consider it like a space of air between the previous day's wick, whether it's a low or a high, and the next day's low. So if you'll notice, let's pretend this day doesn't exist yet. So it's just a difference in the closing price of one day and then the opening price of the next day. Gap fills are our targets, but you don't just want to buy the dip because there's a gap. You want to wait for a strat reversal. So in this case, this is a beautiful example. We had a 2 down followed by a 2 up. So once this day opened and we broke the high of this previous day, our first target is for sure going to be this gap fill. There's a lack of orders here. There's not any price action in this general area. There's not a lot of volume, a lot of previous orders to get through. So price kind of can easily just travel through this area. And then once you have filled your gap, then you can go down to the smaller time frames and look for other targets. So let's make this big. So this was the gap on the daily. So once we filled that, so it only took the first 3 hours of the next day to do it. So once we filled that, then you do what we always do, and your next targets are the tops of the next candles, which you really only hit this one that day. Let's go to QQQ. Same thing happened on that very day. So QQQ daily chart. And the other thing is the market just doesn't like holes in it. So most of the time your gaps are going to get filled. Okay, let's do another one. This was the same day as the Apple one. So there is the gap. So the low of this day to the high of this day. So we went 2 down, and again, you don't just want to buy it off the bat. You want to wait for a 2-2 reversal or a strat reversal, because we could have just as easily gone another 2 down. So you still want to wait for your strat confirmation. And on that day, the Qs filled the gap in only 2 hours. And then again, once your gap is filled, mark the highs of the next candles, and those will be your targets. Look where it stopped. It stopped perfectly at this little resistance, this little 2 up. It ticked it right here. Then you had a flip, and then this was probably a next day. Yeah, so then it gapped down. So how can you trade this? So an easy way to do it. So say this day, we knew we had this gap to fill. You could do one of two things. You could just buy 355 calls and know what your target is. You could buy the gap fill target, which was 357. So anyway, the point is to know what your target is. And then with this huge gap down day, you could have honestly wrote it all the way up because you had a 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up. It wasn't until this day that you had a reversal against you. So if you're more of a swing person, the actual entry would have been here, an entry at 355, See it on the right side of the screen. 355, you had no reason to exit all the way up until right here. So 355 to 366. There's not a lot to say about gaps other than they are your targets because the market almost always comes back to fill them. If you guys have any other questions, I really can't think of anything else to say. But if you have a question, please type it below and I will get back to you ASAP. Anyway, hope your summers are going good and I look forward to more Stretchucation Saturday videos. Also, if you have any ideas, just tag me in them and I'd be happy to cover them. All right, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and I will see you guys next week.